Hey guys, how's it going? And I just realized I completely botched the title. It's Shoo the Shit. Whoops.
It's all
It's
good.
Shoot the Shit. And I have Jared with me today.
How you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. And I just realized I should get the stream to make sure that the stream is playing alongside us. I always do that just to make sure, how things are looking on that end. But
all good.
But yeah, how you been lately?
Been pretty good. I've actually been reading through the whole Death of Superman saga. I'm reading Hero for a Friend right now.
Oh, what have you thought about it? Because I gotta tell you, it was so funny going over that with Pika, because Pika, he openly admitted that if I hadn't gone over with him and showed him just how intricate and detailed, the details were, like everyone else, he probably would have, like everyone else, he would have just breezed past it.
To some degree, I can understand that because, okay, so far, because I'm like I'd say about 5 to 6 issues in, let's say that.
So in other words, you got past the funeral and now you're into the Cadmus portion.
I believe so. So
okay, because yeah, it's 2 halves. It's 2 halves. It's 2 halves.
Thing about it is that so far, yeah, it's slow, but the thing is, it's slow with stuff I like. So it's not. So I don't really care that much.
Wait a minute. It's slow with stuff you like. There's a lot of Lois in that.
Yeah, but I can ignore that part because most of the time it's like, how does the rest of the Justice League react to Superman dying?
True, but they don't tend to react as much as you think they would nowadays.
Well, here's the thing. At least here's the thing. I don't even see Wonder Woman having that much of a reaction, and I'm like,
well, because remember though, no, they weren't much. They were only casual friends by this point. They remember they did not interact that often by this point, and it is there, which you still call him Kal-El.
Okay, I can kind of see that. Which, yeah, again, I did like.
I don't think he even knew. I don't think he even knows his real identity by this point.
I did like how like Booster and Fire and Ice and Maxima all react, and then Guy Gardner's being Guy Gardner, but then Maxima just kicks his ass and saying, "You show some respect."
Right. And I gotta say though, Mitch. I like Mitch. Mitch is a good kid, and you feel bad for him.
Yeah, exactly.
And just but Bibbo. God. Bibbo. That whole speech of his, I love that speech. I love Bibbo.
Bibbo is not really my favorite, but I understand that.
Well, for me, Bibbo is one of the best and most underrated supporting character. Because he's just like, Superman's my favorite. He's that kind of guy where if New 52 is smart, they would have had Clark go to the Ace of Clubs, just to go there and talk to him as the bartender who just hears your sorrows. If they really wanted him to just let it all out and have someone to talk to, they should have had Bibbo in there. But you never really had much of Bibbo in New 52.
True.
Wait, come on, just imagine that. Just having, even doesn't have to be regular. It could be once in a while where he just goes there and talks. In fact, you know what a clever writer would have done? Have him be talking about it, but he's saying it in such generalities. Pika's editing Rain right now.
Oh, it's like in Spider-Man 2 when he goes, "It's my friend's dream," but
no. I'm thinking he more talks in vagaries that you can think he's talking about his life, which he is, but he's more talking about Superman, like, oh, I got up and did this, but then we actually are seeing what he's doing, and it's a grander scale of what he's describing.
The difference is with the new 52 Superman, this was one that like grew up not really like not really used to opening up to people.
True, but there's always something about a bartender where even if you don't open up to many people, there's something about that makes you want to open up to them. Kind of like a barber too. See, barbers and bartenders are the two type of people just feel for some reason, if they're good, I mean, you want to open your heart to them. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, different topic. I was at Motor City. I went over this with Exalted Speed on Sunday, but let me just show you some of the things I got.
Cool.
I already showed you my new intros, which
it's look good.
The Christina V one's been exploding, but I think I know why, because I tagged in the Has Been Hotel.
There you go.
I think that's why. I think it's because it has her doing the Veronica Mayday voice and everything. It's just.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the books I got, Avengers: The Gathering, the start of Bob Harris's run.
Not bad.
It's 90s, but it's a good reminder, though, that there was a point where the Avengers, much like the Justice League, but a bit later than the Justice League anyway, gives you a reminder they were not usually the A book.
Well, yeah, it's all these team books that people forget started off as the put the characters that can't sell books on there and then put like Batman on
Titans
there.
and X-Men were the exceptions.
Titans were the exceptions.
They were the exceptions that exploded into huge popularity.
I'm sure they kind of started off like, okay, just put all the teenage characters together, but it just got so good that they were like, nope, keep promoting them.
Yep. But the Avengers, the Avengers had some classic stuff like during the Stern era and everything. The Kree Skrull War, Under
Kang
Siege.
Dynasty.
Yeah, but at the same time, they're like, name me a Justice League story that was before Morrison and before Bwahaha. You can't.
I really can't. That's the funny part.
In fact, the Avengers, I can at least name two, or maybe the Korvac
saga. Does the death of Superman count?
No.
Okay.
Because that was part of a story, but that wasn't their main story. I mean, I can think of a few moments like Red Tornado sacrificing his life, initially, obviously I think I said Waha. The generality of the Detroit era, the satellite existing. I can remember moments, or of course, but I only remember this because of Identity Crisis, the Legion of Supervillains and the Justice League swapping bodies.
Yeah, that
was
Silver Age, right?
Yep, that was Silver Age.
And didn't that lead to Tower of Babel?
No, that was a story called Silver Age.
Yeah, I know.
No. I'm talking about the old one that Identity Crisis referenced.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the old one where Identity Crisis referenced, and they actually revealed they looked under the mask, which that was something I like. Because it's like, yeah, you have these villains in the bodies. You think they didn't look?
Yeah, you think they didn't at least try that once?
But in the original story, they didn't, which I liked that. That was one of the things I gave Meltzer props for. He did that and made it more gray, shades of gray. And I love it. It's like, excellent. Now go get Flash.
Yeah, exactly.
The other book I got, hold on. Collects the entirety of the Marvel UK stuff, which includes his original look, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, that's weird. I like it, but it's kind of odd.
It's a bit more original. I mean, I love this look, but when you really think about it, it's kind of on the nose of being Captain America-like.
Yeah, pretty much.
But again, it's Alan Davis. It's going to be awesome. But you get my point, right? Though it's one of those like, of course, this is classic. But at the same time, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Also, here's something I'm going to make it clear. I don't know if I said it publicly on my Exalted Speed stuff, but I did post about my community post. I'm in the process of trying to get Tom King on my show.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yep. I mean, that would be interesting, to say the least.
I myself actually confirmed a pretty big guest for my show.
Was it who you and I were talking about before?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, not that big.
It's big in our space. Let me put it to you that way.
All right. Hold on.
Did I tell you?
No, I just private chatted you. You just replied.
Oh, no.
No,
That's still in the process.
Okay. Not that big. Not that big, but
not that big.
But close, right?
I'll give you a hint. He's another YouTuber.
Oh. Okay, you got my interest now. You don't need to tell me. You don't need to tell me.
I mean, I could tell you. It's all confirmed and everything.
All right. Go ahead.
I'm having Comic Storian on my channel.
Oh, okay. That's pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome.
So previously, I had Comic Explain. Now I got Comic Story. Now only needs Comic Pop. Then I have the Holy Trinity.
Or Linkara.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Linkara is less likely to do an interview or talk. But by the way, you know what book I've gone over recently? I realized has more ties to an MCU than I thought.
What? Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
Bob Harris wrote this, but yeah, this was the first time you actually had Nick Fury going against Shield, and the whole idea is that find out Hydra has been undermining Shield the whole time. Now, granted, here it was through LMDs that replaced the originals, and in this story they implied the originals died. The ongoing that came afterward eventually revealed, oh no, they didn't die. They were just replaced, but it's just weird stuff like this where you and it ended with Shield disbanded. Of course.
Yeah, I wonder where we got that from.
But the funny thing is, you got to remind one thing that this emphasizes, you keep forgetting about. Nick was not a founder. He wasn't there at the beginning of Shield. He was promoted and suggested and requested by Tony Stark to be part of Shield.
Wow.
And he was just an agent. Remember that. He was an agent. There was a reason why I said Nick Fury, agent of Shield for a while.
So wasn't that the Amalgam book where it was Bruce Wayne, Agents of Shield?
Well, that was playing off of that, yeah. But remember though, for the Jim Steranko book, he was just an agent. He was not the leader of S.H.I.E.L.D. for the longest time. People forget. There's so much people forget about that. You know, like that S.H.I.E.L.D. was much more created with help from Tony Stark, but then it's since been retconned. Oh no, S.H.I.E.L.D. lasted for as far back as after World War II.
Yeah, because they wanted to line it up more with the movies.
No, this was before the movies.
Okay. Okay, I didn't know that.
This was just something about them wanting to make, them just constantly wanting to reveal that S.H.I.E.L.D. was much bigger and all that. And then, of course, Hickman later revealed, oh, S.H.I.E.L.D. actually goes as far back as Da Vinci.
Of course, Hickman did. Of
course, granted, that wasn't the S.H.I.E.L.D. we know. That was just a group called S.H.I.E.L.D. That was the precursors. So I can let that slide to a degree. So what kind of stuff have you? Oh, also other people I met up there. Hold on, let me get some of the photos I did. Hold on. But I mean, obviously I met Tom and Mitch Gerards, Dan Parent from Archie, Cully Hamner, the co-creator of Jaime Reyes.
Oh, cool.
Billy Tucci was there. Tony Flees from Stray Dogs. Kenny Porter from DC Mech and Superboy Man of Tomorrow. He's Michigan. He's from Michigan.
Didn't Kenny Porter also do the art for Justice League under Grant Morrison?
No. This is a writer.
Oh, okay.
Kenny Porter is the writer of DC Mech.
Oh, okay.
I think you're thinking of a different person. Also Gavin Smith, the guy who worked on the recent stuff of IDW's Turtles.
Not bad.
Mike Norton, who also worked on Blue Beetle. In fact, he was the one who wrapped up the original run of pre-New 52 Jaime.
Sweet.
And Lee Weeks.
Dope. I love Lee Weeks.
Plus, as you guys saw from my new intros, I also met Grey Delisle and Christina V.
Gotta love Gray.
Yep. In fact, I actually met Jen Taylor, but she wasn't doing recordings or anything. I know, what a shame, but hey, what are you gonna do, right?
Yeah, she signed my sword up there.
Oh, yo, the Covenant sword, yeah, nice.
Yeah, and the chief helmet. So I got a little something for her.
Right, but I was originally having Billy Tucci doing a commission for me, but he couldn't finish it.
Okay.
But thankfully, though, he was willing to, he gave me a refund and gave me what he had done so I can bring it next time we ever meet up again.
Okay.
That's so he can finish it.
Nice of him.
Yeah, I do appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. And hold on, let me get what he had done so far. Because he's actually done other artworks for me before. In fact, he was the very first commission I ever had done and the very first person to do a commission on one of my OCs.
He's a good artist.
Damn good. Hold on. So here's the one that oh wait, that's not it. Okay, now you'll barely be able to make it out, so image, IMG. Yep, there we go.
I see the eyes.
Yep, there's the head and the
Okay.
hair. But see what I mean? You can barely make it out, but not bad for a rough, though, right?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, so again, I am grateful for him doing that.
Sweet.
I'll get the original one he did, but believe it or not, though, you know what the very first commission I ever had him and Rich Buckler, rest in peace, do?
What?
Danny Phantom, because I was new to con stuff, so I thought, oh, I'd love to see him draw Danny Phantom, as a commission. But then the next time I started doing commission, I'm like, wait, I have characters. Why don't I have him do my characters?
Not bad.
Hold on, let me find it's under this folder. Nope, not there. Oh, it'll be under here. Ah, darn it, I don't have the Danny ones, but I do have the my Ninjetta character. I forgot, have I shown you the commissions I've had done?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, I will in just a moment. Oh, you gotta be, because it's under a different folder. Duh. So I just got different folders. You know how it is, right?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, come on. Come on. Oh, geez. It's just so weird. I know I have it, just... Oh, there it is. There it is. Found it. Hold on, let me move it over here. Present and share. Here we go.
Oh, nice. That's
and funny
cool.
thing is, I didn't even know he did she. I didn't know what she was.
Oh, wow.
I just did because he was willing to do it. I only had a little bit of money and everything. Because originally, by the way, you want to know a story that I always tell people how much I kicked my ass every time. You know who was at the very first con I was at, but I didn't even bother talking to him?
Who?
Marshall Rogers. Right before he passed. And I'm just like, idiot! But you know what I would do? I would go back in time. I wouldn't kick myself in the butt and tell him to meet him. I would just go up and meet him myself.
Yeah,
even though I'm from the future, I wouldn't say anything. I'd be like, great to meet you, sir. You know what I mean? Things like that, because I feel, one, why change history? Why? And because going up and meeting is not going to change history if you're just saying hi at a con. Is that right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Ron Friends did this one.
Not bad.
And you can definitely, that's obviously Spider-Girl with a big influence, so this is near and dear to my heart. This is Perez.
Not bad. I like
stuff
it.
on Batgirl, the Stephanie Brown Batgirl. Oh, and Andy Price does My Little Pony stuff.
Not bad. That's
of
cool.
Of course, he does a pony version.
It's kind of unique. I like it.
But the one character I've had do a lot of commissions oh, there's the Billy Danny one. Hold on. There we go.
Okay, I see it. That's cool.
Yep. Let me see. Where's the Rich Buckler one? Do I have it here? There it is. So let me just... Yeah, I got a lot of stuff here by other people. Hold on. Oh. Here's ones with Jewel. Ale Garza did this one for free.
Okay.
Angel Medina did this one for free. Art Belshazzar did this one, from Tiny Titans. Greg Russo did this one. George Perez. Rest in peace. J. Scott Campbell did this one as a free sketch.
All right.
Jeremy Freeman, who's an inker, did this one. Jimmy Gonley did this one. Joe Prado did this one. Katie Cook did this cutie. Nate Lovett did this one.
Mm-hmm.
Phil has to do this one. Believe it or not, this one's a free one. Would you believe that?
Wow.
You wouldn't believe that, would you?
No, it's very detailed.
It is. Phil Jimenez did this one.
All right, there you go.
Todd Nowick did this one. And yeah. So let me get to the Buckler one.
Not bad.
Yep. Oh, I have the physical copies of Dark Detective and Siege drawn by Marshall Rogers. There were a few stories that were published and finished that I bought when I could. Yeah, he was there promoting Dark Detective.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells you how close to his end it was.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, where is it now? Rich. There we go. Here's the Rich Buckler one.
Oh, nice.
Looking back, I should have had him do one of my other characters, though, of course. But look, see, that was the first con, 2006. That long ago. Can you believe that?
Wow, almost 20 years.
Yep, which means I would have been handling the con for about, going to the con for about 20 years. Going there. I've been volunteering for a bit less.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, as far as other characters that I've had, drawing, Andy Lanning did this one. This is my big villain, Vitzeru. Angel Medina did this one.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Burnham did this one. This was a 1-minute sketch.
Okay.
Dan Fraga did this one.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel HDR did this one. Dave Gibbons.
Okay.
Jim Starlin, this was a free one.
Mm-hmm.
Norm Ratman. Funny thing about this one, I was talking to him about how many people, like if you look at some of these ones, they think Vitzer has a mask when he doesn't. And that's because here's the original design I would show them. For some reason, they think there's a mask there for some reason. And when I told him that, look what he decided to do.
Ah, okay.
Instead of having to be a mask, he had to be birthmarks. I'm like, that's official now. I love
that's
that
really
so much.
cool.
That is now official. And this is Norm Ratman, known for usually doing inking, but I love this when he does pencil, and he did all this coloring on this. Shane David did this one for free. Tim Seeley did this one. Look how good that is.
That's great.
Art Balthazar did this one. Oh, this was done by a friend of mine. Look at that one.
It's pretty cool.
Toony and yet detailed. But I got so many characters I've had, commissioned because I really want this to eventually take off one day. Oh, here's another one. Another late artist. Norm Brayfogle. And this one broke my heart. You know why?
Why?
He got it wrong.
Oh.
The mask is supposed to be a face mask with the teeth showing out. Unfortunately, he kept on being so busy with other commissions that he didn't get it till between Saturday and Sunday. So I didn't get it till Sunday. And I just didn't have the heart to tell him. I did not have the heart to tell him. But then, Yannick Paquette.
I gotta love Yannick.
Yep, especially for his Wonder Woman.
I like his Wonder Woman.
Did you like Wonder Woman Earth 1, though?
As a story, yes, I did.
Was there anything you had fault with it?
It at times it was a little heavy-handed, I would say.
But to be fair, though, in its defense, it was clearly just taking not William Messner, though, the creator,
Marston, yeah.
Marsden's vision to its logical conclusion, which Yannick himself told me was the point.
That's why I'm not like hating on the book, and also
it wasn't woke. It wasn't woke, and it wasn't there. And oh boy, Yannick. Oh, this is Jamal Eichel. Jay Fosgate, who's done the Fraggle Rock comics.
Not bad.
Katie Cook doing this one, and Tom Zoller from Love and Capes. You ever heard of Love and Capes?
No.
It's basically a what if Superman married to Lois, but it's more play for a rom-com.
Okay, that's interesting.
Although to be fair, it's not them getting married yet. First is their engagement, everything leading up to the marriage, the wedding, the honeymoon, and then having a kid.
That's interesting.
Yeah, he's not exactly Superman. He's the Superman equivalent.
That's cool.
Yep, but yeah, see, you see, I've gotten so many characters done because I just want to one day make this for real, and I could just always put those in as either variant covers or backup material to show it off.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in the process myself, and honestly, the most fun is creating characters.
Oh yeah, the best fun is creating characters, but it's also making sure that they're not rip-offs or knockoffs, or at the very least, they could be. You could say they're homages.
Yeah, that's what I tried for because I mean it's kind of difficult at times because yeah, particularly for mine because mine's like an homage to DC, but I have to make sure it's like it's not a straight up rip off of DC.
Well, yeah, for example, in this one version we're doing this set way in the future. It is canon to everything, but it's so far in the future, you know. We have a character named Sparrow who is pretty much Raven, but it's not entirely, you know, like you can see the pastiche, and she can do some things that Raven can do, like take away their pain and all that, but not that far, you know what I mean? Let me see where that one is. But one thing I've always made sure not to do is not to have a Superman pastiche because one, how can you top the real deal?
Yeah, that's true.
But two, also just because of well, just because, you know, like why when I already have all my other characters. I got people who fill the role, you know, about it, but they're not actually, you know, like super strong, bulletproof, and all that.
Have I shown you my characters before?
I don't think you have. Hold on, no. Here's what we called Space Ninjetta.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. This is the different generations we've had. Oh, here's the color version. That's the one that Billy was trying to draw. Have you noticed she has two swords, a normal sword and a photon sword?
That's pretty dope.
Now, no, it's not a lightsaber per se. You know that. It still looks like an actual sword. Oh, there's her pet. Want to know what his name is?
What?
Stitch.
Of course.
But he's still different enough. Here's some other designs he's done of her. Yeah, don't care for that Stitch design. Like her design, but not that one. Here's Sparrow. First design, but then this one. You see what I mean by the Raven pastiche? You could definitely see parallels, but not enough. Like, you could be like, oh, especially when you hear the name Sparrow, you're like, oh. This is Gunner.
Sweet.
This guy here is named Bolo. Think of him like Sully from Monsters Inc. mixed with Han Solo. So basically, Han mixed with Chewie.
Okay, that works.
This one is Shift. And this one, well before the morph controversy, I was already decided he's non-binary. He's a shapeshifter whose entire species has no gender.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And oh, look what Pika just said.
Yeah.
Yep. But you get what I'm saying, right? Like it's because why?
It makes sense.
I never understood that. Why does a whole race of shapeshifters? Why would they have set genders? If they all shapeshift, why? Yes, they can take the forms. Yes, they can have a preference if they want, with whatever form they take. But at default, why? That always bothered me about Joss Whedon's Runaways when he tried to reveal about Zavin, being like, well, yeah, but what are you? I'm me. And then eventually he had the bullshit by saying when she got so heated and outraged, she eventually just lost control and reverted to female. And it's like, so wait, you are a female? I never thought that was in question. I'm like, I mean, I get it. The Skrulls, you could never know. But at the same time, I hate that. Not because it was Josh. I mean, in general, because that's a cliche he was just playing off of.
Trust me, there are many reasons to hate on Joss Whedon.
But to be fair, I didn't hate his Runaways as a whole. Just like I don't hate his Astonishing X-Men.
X-Men's not bad. Justice League, is the other hand.
No. I'm talking about his comic work.
Yeah,
not his movie work. Oh, yeah, this is Sapphire. Android, as you can tell. Well, yeah, Android. But This is Spectre. Now, believe it or not, you know what her ancestor was? Because remember, my old stuff started originally as fan fiction.
Mm-hmm.
So, want to know who her ancestor was? The original, became the OC version of
what?
Danny Phantom.
Oh, okay.
Spectre, ghost powers.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, and yes, she's meant to look a bit like Danny and Valerie from Danny Phantom. This is Sabare. She's kind of our alien Zatanna.
Okay.
In fact, she looks a bit like Zatanna from DC Superhero Girl Show.
A little bit.
By the way, I sent you that long ago. Did you ever watch it?
I never got a chance to. Did you mind reciting it after this?
I will do that.
Cool.
This is Moon, or Moonlight Sonata.
Mm-hmm.
She is the host to our Venom type, a Jin known as Assassina, or Sassy. And then this is her when she's bonded.
Mm-hmm. That looks really cool. I like the black and red color scheme.
Yep. This is Morrow, same race as Bolo.
Mm-hmm.
This is Vasquez. Remember the Viscera I showed you, the blue skin guy? Same species.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, she's the granddaughter of the female Garurian that Viscera was glaring at.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is Ayala. That's the daughter of Viscera way in the future. Because Garurians incredibly long lived. They live for thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
Funny thing about turns out I should point out though, she's half Garurian, 1/4 human, 1/4 demon.
Oh wow.
Because her mother was part demon.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Lizzie. That's the sister of Gunner from earlier, but raised by Vasquez and Ayala. Yeah, that's what I was saying. We have a lot of lesbian and characters in our stuff. Or
it works. It's your characters, so.
Oh, I know, but it's just one of those cases where when we think about it, that is Ruby. That's Sapphire's twin sister.
Mm-hmm.
But we also have a character named Shyluk Hamas.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that name for a second. Shyluk Hamas. What did that sound like? It's a skewing of.
Psylocke?
No, Shyluk. Sherlock Holmes.
Okay, all right.
Get it? Shyluk Hamas.
I got it.
And in our eyes, in my eyes, if I could get him, I would have Johnny Lee Miller from Elementary voicing him.
Mm-hmm. That could work.
But yeah, I mean, I just always worry though about since they have so many LGBT. I mean, I have straight characters like Gunner and Sparrow. Those two are going to be a couple.
Well, as long as you were as like.
It's not their main defining trait. It's not their main defining trait. That's one thing I want. Just like with Shift. Shift, he's asexual, but that's just because it's not his thing. He's just like, why do I care?
Mm-hmm.
But he goes this, I'm not it. I'm me. That's how he puts it. Like, I'm me.
That works.
And they always then use they because, again, yes, you can definitely tell there's a bit more boyishness to him, but I think my friend Dan, who designed him, did a good job at making it androgynous enough, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, never mind. You probably don't know about it. Never mind. But we even have voice actors in mind.
Oh, cool.
Yep, like for Morrow, we would have Dave Fennoy, Lee from Walking Dead in mind. Or for Sassy, not Moon, Sassy, it'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
Of course it would be great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, who better at doing a crazy, nearly psychotic, symbiote-like being?
Yes, exactly.
Yep. But my friend Dan, the co-creator, he came up with a lot of the voice cast in mind, and he picked a lot from Genshin Impact.
Yeah.
And not all of them. Some of them are from things like Ruby, for example. By the way, did you ever get to the other half of Ruby Justice League?
Yeah, I did. I liked it.
What did you think about
the DC version? Was way better.
Agreed. Well, okay, I'll say it was better, but I thought the Ruby half had a better climax. It had a better climax.
Yeah, let me put it this way. Part 1 was not bad.
Oh no, but it was more emphasis on Ruby.
Obviously, being more of a DC fan, I enjoyed the DC one more and all that stuff. And
I gotta say though, I thought they handled this. For the one, can you believe it was Megan Fitzmartin? Can you believe it?
No, I was like, wait, who wrote this? What?
And yeah, I mean, okay, you can see some of her usual stuff, but she kept it mostly stuff like Blake and some of the girls flirty and all that. But yeah, like the way she handled Jean and Jessica was like, wow, that was good.
Yeah.
And
I love me any type of Jessica Cruz content. So
yep. And then you had apparently from what I've heard some not so good stuff about the actors who voiced her DC Superhero Girl show.
Really?
Yep. Apparently she's the type who's Latina, but then making stuff like how some Native Americans have had Spanish forced on them by the Spaniards and all that. And it's just like,
okay, I see.
Statements like that. I'm like, wait, seriously? What is this? Are you self-deprecating yourself?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but anyway, but yeah, I really liked those two movies. But what did you think about? I thought Travis Williams did better as Superman in that one than he did in Super Sons.
Yeah, in Super Sons, he was kind of stereotypical Superman. In this, it was more of a natural. Particularly,
it's still not my preferred voice. Still not.
No, absolutely not. But you see, here's the thing. I think he did a good job as a transition from the younger voice from Part 1.
It's the same with Troy Baker in this Batman. This one, it felt like he took elements from the younger Batman or Bruce Wayne.
I thought it was still Machian that was Batman in Part 2.
No.
Oh,
that was Troy Baker.
Baker always does a fantastic job as Batman. So
but this one sounded a little different. It did sound a bit more like the other one. And of course, Laura Bailey as Wonder Woman.
Yeah, and I want if they ever do a Wonder Woman animated series, I want her to voice Wonder Woman. I
keep on hearing the rumor that she might be the voice of Wonder Woman in the game.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
That's the rumors. Don't quote me on it.
It was either her or Jennifer Hale or my
Susan Eisenberg.
Well, because there's so much Susan Eisenberg stuff. But anyway, speaking of Wonder Woman, so here's what I got. So this has been kind of floating around my head for like 10 years, and I'm just now in the process. So a lot of these guys, their code names are and some of their characteristics are based on characters from Greek myth. So I kind of use that as an inspiration. Plus,
okay, that's nice.
Plus a few, plus the members of the Justice League, obviously. So here's my main protagonist, Athena.
Okay. Oh, let me put it up. Ooh, who did the artwork?
My friend Dawson. And he's doing all the interiors as well.
My friend who did a lot of those stuff, his name's Daniel.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of the interiors as well. And the concept is she's a princess from another planet who.
You're mixing Superman and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I am.
Wait. Are you deliberately playing her like she's the like the fiction in your mind?
No, she's not the daughter of a god or anything like that. No,
I'm saying the daughter of Superman 1. Is that how she's almost being? Nope. All right.
So I'll tell you this. So in terms of world building, anyone that has powers are known as the empowered, at least from her people's perspective.
Better than a different crowdfunding person's terms for superpower beings.
Yeah, and the idea is that she's like the last one, and the main villain named Xerxes. Yes, I went there.
Yep.
Is invading because he wants to brainwash her and use her as a weapon. So she flees the planet, similar to Superman, and flees to Earth. So when she comes to Earth, she doesn't expect to find other superhumans there. So when her powers are she can't fly and she's moderately durable. Like none of my characters are like Justice League, insanely durable.
Well, to be fair, so is she more like Mr. Incredible durable, or?
Let me put it this way: she can take a hit, but she'll still get hurt if that makes sense.
Wait, her performance still haunts me from that game with how Kane from Near Replicant. Yes.
Her power, her main power is that she basically shoots lightning.
And
like with her swords, what's kind of cool is that I have it where a few times when she uses her swords, the lightning bolt wraps around the blade.
Nice.
I figured that was a cool visual.
What other characters do you have?
That's my Wonder Woman. Here is basically my Superman. His name is Atlas.
Of course. How did I know? How did I know it was going to be Atlas?
And he's less durable than Superman. He can still take a punch, but he'll scar. Let me put it to you that way.
Now, wait, okay. Do they have that indescriptive but not Wolverine level healing ability type of traits, that some heroes have? Like healing faster than normal people, but not stupid fast.
Yeah. You kind of have to.
Have you ever noticed that? Have you always noticed that's been one of those, just like how speedsters are able to not burst into flame? It's always that unsung power or unspoken power.
Yeah. And by the plan is that after like volume 1 of the book comes out, which is about 3 to 4 issues, I'm going to do like an anthology book that has all of their origins.
Oh, nice. Well, for me, it was my stuff. Like I said, I've had different variations. In fact, I'll tell you this. This is something I tell people so much. In my head, I don't just think about just the one version and think, oh, it's going to be a one size fits all. Mm-hmm. I actually think about how would these work for a comic? How would they work for a novel? How would they work for a cartoon show? How would they work for a live action show? How would they work for an animated movie and an animated show? Because all of those would be different. All of those would be different.
Then my next character, this is my Aquaman / Mira.
Ooh.
Her code name is Thalassa, otherwise known as the Goddess of the Sea.
Nice.
And see, she has the tattoo on her arm, and when she uses her powers to like control water, the tattoo glows.
Ooh. Oh, speaking of which, hold on. Can I show you?
Sure. And but I don't want to reveal everything so far, but her origins are linked to Athena. Nice.
Now this one I have. Now obviously, if we actually make this, we'll remove the Thunderbolt symbol. But our speedster. Where is it? Here we go. Hyperactive Girl.
Oh, nice.
Fan fiction wise, you want to know what cartoon character was originally the identity?
Kid Flash?
No. This would not have been an ODC or Marvel character. These would have been, this is not the equivalent. Original idea is fan fiction. I would take characters from other cartoons and everything.
Okay.
Never seen Fairly Odd Parents?
Long time ago.
This would have been Tootie.
Okay, I can see it now.
Vicky's sister. Mm-hmm. She was hyperactive.
I can see that.
Yep. Oh, by the way, hold on. That character I showed you all the fan art of, that was Jewel. That's the ancestor of Sapphire that I showed you earlier. But Jewel has been and always will be my pride and joy. Her and Ninjetta, obviously. But this artwork a friend did has always been
That's cool.
This has always been the go-to reference pick people would pick. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Jewel is awesome. And I've always had 3 actresses in mind to voice her. Either Tara Strong, Ashley Bell, aka Rainbow Dash from My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, or Barbara Dunkelman from Rooster Teeth, Yang from Ruby.
I could see that.
Hey, come on, she would have been great for this. You heard her Yang in that Ruby Justice League crossover.
Yeah, that's great.
Yep. Oh, by the way, could you believe you do know who voiced Flash in Ruby Justice League 2? It was not the same actor from 1.
Really? Who did it?
Polka Dot Man from the Suicide
Squad. That's the mock. Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, I know he's in here somewhere.
Yeah, he was Flash, but you're like, really? He sounds so similar to the guy from Part 1.
Yeah, and he doesn't even sound like Polka Dot Man. So I was like, oh, well done.
Well, yeah, and geez, what's her name? From Big Hero 6, she was the voice of Go-Go from Big Hero 6. Hold on. That Jamie Chung was Black Canary.
Okay.
Which I gotta say, I was not a fan of Black Canary in the movie.
She didn't really do much.
She didn't do much, and she didn't act like what I would normally want from a Justice League Black Canary. Mm-hmm. Because when I think Black Canary, I'm sorry, I always think back to when she was actually the chairwoman.
Yep.
The type of person that you would see as being deserving of being chairwoman.
Yep, that's me. That's the way I see it. So here's my Flash.
Oh, nice.
His codename is Hermes. Before you ask, he cannot go back. He cannot travel through time. I'm not doing that.
With mine, I follow out the rules of the Flash. With Hyperactive Girl, she can, but there's a lot of great cost and danger. She cannot do it willy-nilly, haphazard.
In fact, my Batman.
Ooh.
His name is Hephaestus. He's kind of the tech guy. I kind of went with a Batman / Iron Man / Luke Fox feel.
Right. I should point out, with my Ninjetta character, by the way, you might think it's a bit Batman, or like actually it's a bit of a mixture of Batman and Spider-Man with a little tiny bit of Avatar.
Not bad.
In that she's a legacy. And in fact, the very first Ninjetta we would have in present day, not the future, in present day, was the first female. All of her predecessors beforehand were dudes called Ninjatos. So but they have a spider spirit named Sadoka, who is their she helps them out, shares their powers together. She's the one. Now, I make it clear, Sadoka has no control over who's the next champion. She does not choose it. Now, except she can strip it away if they take away. But one thing I cannot stand about certain mentors, especially ancient ones, and I want to avoid with her, she is actually very easygoing. She is like, for example, if someone kills, she'll look at the context. She is not the type to be like, oh, you killed, lose your powers. And part of the reason why is another spirit she knew who had a champion who did that, who just, the person killed. They had no choice. But the spirit was so strict, they just stripped it and gave it to their next person who was a child. And not long after that happened, the town was invaded and they were all slaughtered. But the spirit felt like they were all at fault. And Sadoka respected that spirit, but it's like, I'm not doing that. I am not doing that. I'm going to have a general guidelines, but no strict absolute, because I hate absolutists.
Yeah, me too.
And that's one thing that always bothers me. You know what gave me the notion of one? Infinite Crisis with the thou shalt not kill stuff was Wonder Woman.
Yeah, because that's one of my biggest issues with that time.
Jeff Johns was more playing off it. I don't think Jeff really believes that for the characters, but
it's like my biggest problem with that is that Wonder Woman snaps Maxwell Lord's neck, has a good reason for doing so.
By the way, they referenced that moment in the recent issue of Wonder Woman.
I know,
but she didn't actually kill him.
Yeah, I know, but the problem is that my issue with that issue is that with like when they did in the past and sacrifice, is that she does it for a good reason, and Superman and Batman are like, go away, get out.
It needs to be updated to a no murder rule for the most part. It's, for example, we have it be now, of course, Ninjetta, they're ninjas, of course they're going to assassinate and all that, but they gave one example of. And Sadoka's more of the belief of you got to accept the consequences of your actions. Yeah, like you could kill someone, and she gives an example of having them go, and she actually will test someone's resolve. She will put them her champion in a situation of they're on a mission, and she will fill their head with the knowledge of this guy's evil. They have a son, an heir who will take over and truly be a better person. You just need to take the person out. All this stuff. And then leads them to killing them. And then she'll be like, ooh, you dare tackle them? But then if the champion is worthy enough, and most of them are, and all of them in the past had been, they would call her, they would all call her out on her BS and saying, if you're going to give me this reaction, then why did you give me all the knowledge to make it clear it was A-okay to do it? To which you're like, good, you held your resolve. But yet she's a spider spirit, of which she can be both a giant spider form, like right out of Lord of the Rings, but then she could also have this very curvy female form.
There you go.
And everything. Right down to the point, you can imagine with my Space Ninjetta character, since she's pansexual, when she sees that, she'd be like, And then Sadoka would mess with them, saying like, what? I'm just taking the form she's comfortable with. And then the other's like, that's leave her. Yeah, she's a troll. You can't be around as ancient as she is and not be a troll.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? But,
so
Yeah.
These are my last two. So these are the bad guys.
Why does one look almost like Casey Jones?
Well, he's a bounty hunter. Yeah, exactly. We took a lot of Wolverine / Lobo / like Boba Fett like inspiration.
Sorry, the mask looks a little. I know it's not a hockey mask, but just from a distance, he looks a little Casey Jones like. That's all.
I wouldn't be surprised if my artist got inspiration from Casey Jones anyway. But he's sent by Xerxes to retrieve Athena.
But let me guess, he doesn't do it?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
That's actually similar to that Morrow character, that, the same species as Bolo. He was sent to apprehend Moon. Was built up that Moon was this like last child of a horrible mafia family. But once he actually saw her, he realized, one, I was fed a bunch of BS. Two, I can't do it. So he ends up quitting, dropping the contract, going into hiding, and being like a father figure and protector of her.
With me, it's a little more complicated. I'm not going to go into it because I don't want to spoil what happens in the story, but it gets a little intense.
I bet. Now, I can say, with my aliens, the Garurians, originally, I was just having them be generic villain bad guys, but eventually, as time went on, one, I realized Viscera, my main villain, is a lot more complicated. Two, when I was talking about all this to a guy at a convention when I was volunteering, I showed it off, and he said, that's kind of cliche what you're doing. Why not come up with more nuance? And thus, here's how I decided with the Garurian race. First of all, when we first meet them, we're just meeting their military. And basically, they're a species who, long ago, thousands of years ago, they were originally fighting each other, civil war, until a scientist decided to fix it all by claiming we're the most perfect race scientifically. He would skew scientific evidence that on the surface, anyone that's actually a good scientist will look at and could believe it. You'd have to actually look at the fine details to realize, wait, that doesn't make sense. But convince every one of the people that they are the most perfect race in the universe. And they all stopped. No more infighting. Because if we're all perfect as a species, then who cares about our minute details? But then a guy named Makai, an old Garurian even back then, he decided to skew it all. He kills the scientist, makes it look like an accident, and then convinces them, if we are the most perfect race, then shouldn't we own the universe? But he didn't want to make them evil militant because the people wouldn't accept that. So what do? We should go to other planets and test them, see if they are worthy to be among them. But when they go to planets, they give them an option. You can leave, go to another planet, accept that we are the most superior race, give us your world, and we will let you be. They make that clear. If you leave, either now or at any point, if you escape, we will let you live and flourish. We will not touch your new planet. If you win, we will let you be. But here's the thing about the Garurians. They are all as a race, all as see ya, Pika. They are all individually as potentially powerful as Thanos. The whole species.
That's troublesome.
Or almost as powerful as Darkseid, even.
Oh, God.
And again, that's the species. Now, later we find out they were uplifted by a race called the Architects, who were a group of God's designers, not for the whole entire universe, but for part of the universe. Think of it like Perpetua, but as a species.
Okay.
Well, Perpetua have you ever played StarCraft?
No.
Okay. Mass Effect.
Yes.
The Leviathan.
Oh, Leviathan. Okay.
Or so you played Halo, the Precursors.
Okay, that makes sense.
In the same vein of that, but with a lot of Perpetua, even though I came up with these guys long before Perpetua, funny enough. But yeah, so the Garurians would be going there, but Viscera, he wants to change it. He doesn't like it, but he also knows, because Makai, ancient as he is, he would actually manipulate. He would actually have followers, influence uprisings, people who want to say, we need to stop it, but then he would manipulate them to become bloodthirsty, to make them even worse. Like they would attack, they would blow up, they would do militant stuff to make them look like the bad guys. So in Viscera's eyes, I can't push back against the system. It's going to always turn violent somehow. So he decides a long-term plan. He's going to become a lord. That's a general. or an admiral, and then eventually work his way up till he can influence his followers, his crew, who would eventually go on to become lords and ladies of their own, and have them change the tactics, be less militant and more strategic, like planning, like doing more of like comic book villain plans of like, oh, I'm going to do this long-term manipulative plan, little steps, little attacks here and here, and if they can figure it out and stop me beforehand, they've won. Rather than being a full military until the last man, no. Have it be, I use subterfuge. How does all that sound?
That sounds great.
So Visceru is not a bad man, but he has obviously had to commit genocide. He had to, and he hated it. But if he's going to do the change, he has to keep staying the course.
That makes sense.
Then, of course, that still means that when the heroes see him, they don't forgive him. Why would they? Who would, right?
Yeah.
Like, you still committed genocide, man. You know, things like that. But you get what I'm saying still, right? But eventually then it's revealed that they're not perfect, all that stuff. And yeah, like I said, Visceru, now is Visceru, you know who I would see as the voice for him? Originally, it's always in my mind, Tony J, the late Tony J. Megabyte from Reboot, Judge Frollo from Hunchback.
I think I remember.
The bad guy from Disney's Hunchback.
I haven't watched that movie in so many years.
Have you seen Reboot?
I've seen the remake.
The remake of Reboot.
On Netflix.
Live
action one.
That wasn't a remake, actually. That was a continuation, a continuation spinoff.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like he has this great voice. If you've seen Rugrats,
long time ago.
Dr. Lipschitz, the baby doctor.
I think
This Britishy voice. Trying to think of other roles that you might have heard of that he's he's no longer with us anymore. But he just had that distinctive voice. Wait, have you seen Beauty and the Beast recently?
Nope.
Did you ever see or play? Tailspin or no? I doubt you've known about those. Yeah, nothing you would have known about, I'm afraid, because a lot of stuff is on the older side. Because he passed away in mid 2000s.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, have you ever played X-Men Legends?
No.
Darn it, because he was Magneto in that one.
Oh, okay.
Well, anyway, but since then, I would have had in my mind, nowadays, I would have either David K, Beast Wars Megatron. Yes. Or have you ever played Saints Row 4?
Yes.
JV Blanc, Zenyak.
Yep.
But
there you go.
Not as villainous, not as egotistical. Basically, Zenyak without the ego.
But did you see they actually have Wonder Woman armor in that game?
Yep. Laura Bailey is one of the female boss voices.
So what I did was I did a female playthrough of that with that armor the whole time. But what I did was I chose the French voice because it was closest I could get to Gal Gadot.
But like I said, Laura Bailey. I just love Laura Bailey in that. She's Bailey great. And Jennifer Hay are two of my favorite.
Me too, dude.
Video game female. I'm always picking the female character version. Well, because they have better voice acting.
Speaking of Jennifer Hale, how about that X-Men '97 with her as Jean Grey? Oh, hell yeah.
And at least the original Jean was still around. You know. Well, okay, what did you think about '97 as a whole?
I loved it.
I did too. Now,
my only complaint is that they rushed through a lot of stories, but that's about it.
But to be fair, they rushed through some of them back in the old cartoon.
But they did give like four episodes to like Phoenix.
Sometimes, not all. But I get what you mean, though. This one was rushed even for that.
But even with like... But
I say, two characters I'm glad they fixed. They've really shown their potential. Cyclops and Jubilee. Yeah,
Cyclops was a freaking badass.
I still love seeing the meme people probably like, wait, you mean Cyclops was the badass and Wolverine was the simp? Always has been.
Always that. You clearly have now read X-Men comics.
People forget that, and at least they better handle the Madeline Pryor stuff.
Well, isn't she kind of dead?
What, currently?
Yeah, in the show, because she was at Genosha.
No. I'm talking about how they handled Jean. Like Scott did not go like marry Madeline and then go back to Jean. None of that. He actually thought it was Jean.
Mm-hmm.
It was because it was a clone. Because remember, she was not originally a clone when Claremont created Madeline.
Oh,
She
yeah,
just
yeah,
happened
yeah.
to be similar to Jean, almost identical. But then when X Factor on, it's like, oh, he left his family to go back with his old flame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what a dick. And they better handle the affair from Morrison's X-Men.
They kind of did, though, kind of.
No, I said they better handle it. I said they better handled it.
Yeah,
Because
a little
in
bit.
This case, again, it's not like, Madeline or whatever is, trying to seduce him like Emma was.
Although I'm one of those people that prefers Scott with Emma Frost than Jean Grey.
Yeah, right. But well, Emma's dead now.
No, she's not.
Oh, she's not. I thought she was.
Nope. When they brought her out of the rubble, she was in her diamond form.
Right. Sorry, been a while. I only watched that episode once.
But
what do you think about? Okay, can I say one thing I thought was blown out of proportion? The scene was Rogue and Cap.
Yeah, definitely. I was like, I don't see.
It's like, why do people keep thinking if writers are writing the scene, that means the characters in the writing, and that's their own personal beliefs? I am getting so tired of that.
Well, the other thing is that's the way Cap was in the original cartoon as well.
Well, we barely saw Cap. Remember, Cap was the only time we ever saw Cap was in Spider-Man.
But still, it's like that's the way he was. So it's not like he was written out of character for that.
True. Well, again, it's like, but again, Rogue wasn't in the right.
The other thing that I think was blown out of proportion is all the stuff with Morph, but also with Morph and Wolverine.
See about this? Morph is basically the way I see it, and the way Exalted Speed put it best. This is Morph who's finally gotten over what Sinister did to him.
Yeah, but the other thing is like
he's pretty much exiled Morph. He's pretty much exiled Morph.
I saw a lot of people say hyper focus on when Morph turned to Jean Grey and said, "I love you, Wolverine."
I know Trish may have had a blast with that, but she was more joking.
Well, Bo. Here's the interesting part about that. So Bo said he meant. Bo said Morph meant it like romantically, but another person that worked in the show said no, it wasn't romantically. So I think it's more like,
you know what? I'm seeing both hands because he's no longer affiliated with Disney. He's getting away with being more upfront, and the other writer saying Disney's not going to let us do it.
Mm-hmm.
You want to bet?
But regardless, I mean, the way they did that scene, they do kind of leave it up to your interpretation.
Which is good, which is fine. I'm all for that.
Yeah, because the way I interpreted it is that Morph knows that hearing Jean say "I love you" would pull him out of his coma.
Yes, exactly. Now, here's the question I got to ask. Do you think it's going to do well without once we get to season 3, or do you think it's going to? That's where we got to worry.
That's it, yeah, exactly. I'm wondering about that. I'm like, it depends.
Bo's not going to be as involved with season 2, but it's still going to have his episodes involved at least.
Yeah, they said they're going to respect the story he had already there.
Now, do you think there might be ever? Do you think we'll ever find out what happened?
Yep, I'm pretty sure eventually someone will leak it.
I hope it doesn't make us turn against Bo then. I hope it's not that bad.
Then again, it is Disney, so I doubt it would make us turn against them.
True, but at the same time, though, for them to have him to drop him like that, it had to have been something bad. If you ask me, it feels that way,
Yeah, but regardless, it felt so good week to week to be excited about something Marvel.
Agreed. Definitely agree.
It's my other favorite thing was the whole Storm arc where she lost her powers.
Yeah. Good God, do not get me started. Some of the Storm stands who were pissed off.
Oh, of course, people were pissed off. By the way, so when Bo said, "Oh yeah, that flight scene was inspired by Man of Steel," and of course the anti-Snyder people were like, "No, it wasn't."
Okay, let's not get into that.
No, yeah.
By the way, one thing I would love to see them adapt, even for an episode, but I know they never will.
What? I've never read that.
Okay, think of it this: Ecstatic is basically, what if, okay, you know how people going back, oh, it's about minorities, Mm-hmm. Yeah, who else among minorities are actually doing well for themselves, usually?
Asian people?
No, I meant among blacks. Let's go with blacks.
Okay.
Rappers, people who are in the media. Basically, this is a bunch of mutants that have become reality show type of people.
Oh, that's interesting.
And look how sick. This was the first omnibus I ever got.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yep. If not that, though, it's follow-up. Ecstatics, which, oh, yeah. You've seen Deadpool 2, right?
Oh, yeah.
Zeitgeist.
Okay.
Though, killed off in the first issue.
Wow.
Very first issue of this. And yet, but they brought him back here. But get this. This was the only one of the few X-Men books that had nothing to do with Krakoa.
It's automatically better in my mind in that case.
Yep. And now let's get on the later. And also, it's Mike Allred.
Mm-hmm.
It's Mike Allred artwork. Come on.
Mm-hmm. All right. I got a Marvel omnibus. That's like one of my favorite things.
Go right ahead.
So.
No, let me see. Oh, Heroes Reborn. Because it's pretty much the Justice League.
And you know what's kind of interesting?
You talk about it. I'll be right back.
When you look at,
funny you have that.
Because it's not, because the thing about it, the reason why I like it's not just that it turns DC into Marvel. I mean, it turns Marvel into DC. Man, that was a Freudian slip. It's that a lot of the changes are actually really cool to check out. Like,
it's funny you have that one, because
I also have this. Hang on.
Look what I have.
Oh, nice.
I got the original.
Wow. But it's like what this. I also it's not just
now,
like.
To be fair, though, can I be honest about one thing though? That's from Aaron's run. And I'm sorry, Aaron's run was clearly they just put him there just to keep him happy.
Yeah, which I'm fine with because I read the first trade, dropped it. Then the minute I saw this, I was like, I'll give it a shot, and I loved it.
Oh, yep.
Partly because Superman and Wonder Woman are together in this, but also because...
you know it. Come on. Let's be honest who they really are.
Yeah, it's Superman and Wonder Woman. What are you talking about? That version of Superman and Wonder Woman.
It's the Squadron Supreme, so... What are their names? Come on.
Hyperion and Power Princess.
Yes, there we go.
No, but I mean the analogs.
I know. I just wanted you to actually say their names.
No, I know. But I also liked how they did the death of Gwen Stacy, but it's Falcon that dies instead of they do the whole Jason Todd Robin dead.
Yeah.
Like,
by the way, have you ever read the original Squadron Supreme? Talk about Watchmen before Watchmen.
I got that.
Yep, I got it too. I didn't have the compendium that includes the deaths of the Squadron Supreme universe. But yeah, talk about a world that proves what can happen if heroes decide to take over. Not well.
This is the better version of Injustice right here.
Because they're actually well-intentioned.
Yeah, it's not like they're being dicks, but I also have this.
The world. Nice.
Golden Age Cap.
I can't wait for Mark Gruenwald's run. It's finally getting omnibused.
Here's the thing. I'm waiting for them to reprint the other volumes of Cap for Brubaker because I got 2 of them.
Oh, actually, but another omnibus thing I love that I have. Hold on.
Let's see what you get.
Proper Thunderbolts.
Ah, nice.
Before they became the Suicide Squad knockoffs.
Yep, there you go.
1, 2.
Oh, wow.
3.
Not bad.
And Fabian Nicieza. Plus, now I'm not going to go grab them. I got all of the Peter David Hulk omnibuses. Oh, by the way, did you hear what's being released soon?
What?
Peter David's Aquaman.
Yes.
And an omnibus format.
I need it.
All of it. Oh, yeah. Jim California, the guy who was the artist near the end of it, was also at the con.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me, the Gail Simone run.
I love it. It's not bad.
I told you it was good. I told you it was good. Come on. It opens up with Nazis and giant gorillas invading Themyscira.
Yeah. I had like a couple of trades of it, but I never really got the full run.
But hey, I'll be honest, she undoes a lot of the damage of Amazon's attack.
Yes, she does. Because oh boy, was there damage to undo.
Oh yeah, what the hell? What the hell were they thinking? I don't get it still. What they were thinking, you know?
I also have this, which I very much enjoyed.
Ooh, I have all the issues though.
Yeah, it's pretty good as a Superman origin. Plus, it shows that I always use this as an example that the new 52 suit was not armor.
Yep, but I will say this though. Unfortunately, once we get past that Brainiac story, with we eventually just feel like Morrison was doing his own thing that everyone neglected and ignored.
Well, Morrison always does his own
thing. No,
so.
but you would have saw he said a lot of stuff, but because it just clashed with how people wanted present day Superman to be like, he basically brought Superman up to be more like how he was pre-New 52 by the end, and they just ignored it.
Yeah. Well,
I'm sorry, that still hurts. That still hurts. He basically got Superman to a point where he can move on beyond what New 52 Superman had become, and they're like, nope.
Well, yeah, but if you read the other books, like Superman, Wonder Woman, he was that Superman still.
Well, for the most part, but I'm saying like Lobdell's Superman and all that.
Lobdell was.
Lobdell was under editorial too, though.
Mm-hmm. I also got this.
Ooh, nice.
Loving this. And I'm currently in the middle of this massive monster.
I got all the issues.
Yeah.
I have all the issues. That is one of my favorite comics.
It's pretty good. And then in terms of, so I told you I'm going through Funeral for a Friend.
Yep.
This is my current to read pile. I got Detective Comics New 52.
Oh, that one. The Layman, the John Layman point.
Yeah. Ant-Man, the Anniversary Trade.
All right.
And King Thor.
Oh, I got the entire Jason Aaron run in both omnibuses.
Mm-hmm.
That includes King Thor.
Yeah, I got a couple of trades of that, but I also got these two books. I got the part one of the Darth Bane saga and Revan.
For book-wise, I have all 6 of the current continuity Thrawn books by Timothy Zahn.
Not bad.
I seriously, anything by Timothy Zahn, masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you ever read if you were reading Legend stuff, you should have read the Thrawn trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because it's good.
Yeah.
But oh wait, something else I'll grab. I don't know if I showed you. Starman.
Nice.
Both compendiums, and now I want to get the JSA omnibuses.
Mm-hmm. Not bad. That's cool.
Because that's both David Goyer, James Robinson, and then of course Jeff Johns.
Mm-hmm.
But they got those. Oh
hey,
boy,
Tavia.
Hey Tavia, I got so many books.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, I know a weirdo book series. I don't know if I ever showed you, but I don't plan on ever doing on Pro Teachers New because they're so psychedelic.
Sure.
Like I'd have to read them a couple of times to go over them. The Fight Club books.
Oh boy.
The Fight Club comics, I mean, they are just so. And turns out Fight Club 3 ends up connecting the Fight Club novels with a different set of novel that the author had done.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, really?
So here's something cool. This is my first Marvel trade.
Oh, Siege!
I love Siege.
I have the JMS Karen Gillian omnibus.
Mm-hmm.
That includes Siege. I like Siege, but I gotta say though, did you? And the JMS got screwed.
Yeah, they did.
He got royally screwed. But yeah, Tavia, there's 2 Fight Club miniseries that are sequels to the novel, not the movie. And these are written by the original writer, Chuck Palahniuk. Oh, and you want to know who the artist is?
What?
Cameron Stewart.
Oh, nice.
Well, good artist, but you know about the stuff he's been found out on, right?
Oh boy.
Yep. It's like whenever I see Gerard Jones stuff, I'm like, great stories, trash bag human being.
Mm-hmm. Or it's like with Warren Ellis.
Not as much as Gerard Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Gerard Jones actually had kiddie porn on his computer. Yeah.
Speaking of Warren Ellis, I actually have a Warren Ellis thing.
So do I. I have a couple. Like I have his Galactus trilogy.
I picked this up when they announced the Authority movie.
I got the Authority omnibus that includes both his and Mark Millar's run.
Yeah, it's when Gunn announced all of his movies, all the books that DC was based on. I just loaded up a bunch of my Amazon cart with stuff.
Yeah. But I tell you, Gerard Jones, he's the guy who, except for the first issue, he worked on the post-crisis Green Lantern up until Ron Mars took over, and he was the one who took over Justice League International for a while after the blah ha ha era. And he's the guy whose books are being excluded from the Amalgam Omnibus.
Okay, that's who that is.
That guy, yes. That's the guy, and that's the reason why. Oh.
Honestly, I support that choice there to exclude him.
Well, mostly because we doesn't get royalties, but at the same time, though, it won't be a complete collection.
True. Oh, you know what I read that was so good?
What? Oh, nice.
Heck yeah.
Have you ever read any of the Batman 66 comics?
No, I haven't.
You should.
They're that good?
Hit and miss, but you should read the Lost episode. You know why?
Why?
It took an original screenplay that or treatment that was supposed to be made into an episode that was done by Harlan Ellison, and it would have been a Two-Face episode.
Oh, cool! I like that.
Yep.
I'm also going through these.
Hold on. How do you say that?
Oh wow! Oh yeah. There you go.
The compendiums.
Yep. There you go. It's a good series. I'm really enjoying it.
Oh, you want to know a great comic series I highly recommend, but it's so obscure?
What?
How big of a Kirby fan are you?
Jack Kirby, pretty. I'll pick up his stuff when I see it.
Godland.
Ooh.
As Grant Morrison put it best. Hold on. I want to actually read what he said. Whatever it is, Godland is Kirby-esque in the best sense of the word. There have been any number of clever pastiches of Jack Kirby's work over the last decade or so, but Casey and Scioli go beyond mere nostalgic homage to completely overhaul the essentials of the Kirby cosmic style. Compared to the master, this reads like the difference between Frank Sinatra's Midway and the Sid Vicious cover.
Nice.
How's that for a comparison?
Not bad.
Oh boy! I also have, I don't know if I showed it, the Grant Morrison Doom Patrol omnibus and the Rachel Pollack omnibus. Rest in peace, Rachel.
Here's my favorite Grant series, of all time.
Oh, I got those as individual trades, and
yep, there you go.
Well, this is the 1 million.
Well, the funny thing about the way this omnibus is mapped is is that it's JLA, and then for 20 issues it's DC 1 million. So I'm like, it took me so long to get through because I'm like, I want to get back to classic Justice League.
Well, that's why I got the omnibus for DC 1 million, and I have the individual deluxe editions. The only thing is, it does not include the page that leads into DC 1 million.
Okay.
By the way, Peek and I are going to record a Pro Teachers News on that. Oh, no, Michael, I get that. Gerard Jones did do good writing. He's still a trashy human being.
Yeah.
I can still say that. I also have an omnibus of the Batman Ninja Turtles trilogy.
There you go.
Yeah, it took forever for that to come out. I got Grant Morrison's Animal Man. The Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale Batman omnibus that includes both Long Halloween, Dark Victory, Catwoman, Win in Rome, and the what was the other one? What was the Holiday Night?
Mm-hmm. So this is for a series that's very personally meaningful to me because this was the first collection of trades that I ever completed.
Okay. Yep. How did I know?
Because when I got into comics like fully, the trades were coming out for that.
Well, for me, some of my earliest trades that I still have anyway. And it's funny that you're going over them.
Ah,
but
okay,
these are the originals.
Yeah.
So it does not include Bloodlines, thank God. Also, returns in one book, not two books.
Okay.
And come on, look at that cover.
That's a good cover.
Remind me, you've seen Pika's videos on the death and the funeral, right?
I think so.
If you heard him say, look at the artwork.
Yeah.
Oh, Judge Dredd of the 90s. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have the Batman Judge Dredd collection.
So, besides the Jeff Johns run, this is my favorite Justice League run of all time.
Oh, I have the issues.
Meltzer all the way into McDuffie. This is why I love Black Canary.
I have from there all the way to New 52 started. So I have all the way up to James Robinson.
Yeah, it's real. It's an epic story.
And Jeff Johns' Justice Society parallel to it. They had the crossover too.
Yeah, I love that crossover.
Oh, I
love.
Yeah,
I love the issue where the Trinity are going over who to allow into the Justice League, and then they have their pick.
I did not like was Dr. Light. They were just singing back about the male one. I'm like, oh, but funny you mentioned the Dwayne McDuffie thing. I'm responsible for Kimio Hoshi's getting back into the spotlight.
Really?
Oh, I really am. It's me. You know why?
Why?
Okay. First of all, at one point, I was at a panel that Dan DiDio was at. I just put my hand on and said, Kimio Hoshi, when you find out, Justice League, find out. I then emailed Dwayne McDuffie. That's what he said. I haven't heard. But then Kimio showed up, got her power straightened out and everything. And when I met the man a year before he died, he then said, oh, yeah, after you sent that email, I then got word from editorial, put Dr. Light in the book.
Oh, nice.
And then after that, Dwayne had her on, then he got fired, and then James Robinson, who was a Dr. Light fan, took over and kept the character going.
There you go. I like that.
And then he brought her into the Superman books.
Mm-hmm.
Where, if you remember, he was teasing a relationship between her and Guardian of all people.
I can kind of see that.
It was a weird one, but it didn't go anywhere, unfortunately. That was, I don't know, that era of DC was at a point where they started, you had a lot of plot points that ended up never going anywhere. Even Jeff Johns was guilty of that.
Mm-hmm. By the way, you know what's something kind of funny? When you and I did the Pro Teaches Noob for this, that's when I got the trade.
Ah, so now that you've read it properly, is it still weirding you out?
The ending is the weird part. When you find out the punishments of the League.
Again, like, John gets extradited to Mars? Who's going to enforce that?
I know.
What, is there a colony on Mars?
Here's another thing I really like.
Oh, that was a decent one. I wouldn't say it was like great. I liked it, but I wouldn't say I loved it.
Now, normally I'm not a Tom Taylor fan.
But Dark Knight of Steel.
Fantastic.
Did you call it with Martian Manhunter? Because I'll be honest, I thought he was the bad guy. I didn't realize it was going to be the White Martians, and I definitely didn't expect him to be Alfred.
I had suspicions because the way he
no. You knew Martians. You knew shapeshifters had.
I knew something involving a shapeshifting.
And I figured it had to be a Martian because of the heat vision.
Yeah. The thing is, once you figure out it's Martians, and then like Jean reveals
it had to be either a villainous Jean or a white Martian. It was one or the other.
Yeah, and from what I saw, I was like, okay, not bad.
Yep. What won you over?
Honestly, the fact that Jean was posing as Alfred the whole time.
Yep.
I was like, okay, that's cool.
It still bothers me. You had the idiots out there who kept saying, oh, they made Supergirl and Wonder Woman a couple, and the man got to. He's like, It's not a main continuity, you idiots.
A, still Super Wonder, still counts.
Yeah.
And B, yeah, it's not canon. So what? It's not even Supergirl.
People. It's like when they took the Catwoman Lonely City book and they said, "Oh, they made Poison Ivy fat."
Yeah, it's an Elseworlds book. Because here's the thing.
I don't get these guys.
Here's the thing. Clownfish summarized this perfectly when that whole thing popped up. He says they're never going to make Wonder Woman bi or lesbian in the main continuity.
Well, okay, they're going to acknowledge her as bi, but they're never going to actually change it.
Have they? They haven't.
Good point. Now, it is, though. Poison Ivy, they've actually made it clear.
Yes, because here's why. Poison Ivy is not like, because here's the way about the way corporate America works when you have a product.
Yeah, she's a small enough character.
She's a small enough character they can do it. There's no way any of the, that's why.
Everyone kept thinking they dropped her like he meant. Everyone has been so convinced from like, look at the recent issues. G. Will Wilson has confirmed she was banging Floronic Man.
Yeah, I figured that they weren't, because the way that I see a lot of these like writers do bi is that they do bi so in case it gets like rejected, they can go, oh, he's back.
Well, again, Wilson actually confirmed, no, she's a legitimate bi, not a bi in name only.
And by the way, if you take the jacket off, you get this dope image of the flame swords.
Ooh.
I'm like,
okay, guys, what do you think about the recent Elseworld book they have coming out? We got Gotham by Gaslight, the Kryptonian Age.
I might get that. I'm getting the Deathstroke where he's a Viking. I'm getting that.
Oh, yeah, which is the part of that Dark Knights of Steel.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting that. You kidding me?
And then we're going to have a new, DC versus Vampires. Okay, be honest. Deceased or DC versus Vampires?
Deceased.
But DC versus Vampires wasn't bad.
It's fun, but I like the concept of because first off, that ending, though, I
knew it was going to be a cliffhanger because of having a delay. Having that gap was Deceased all over again.
No, but it's like with Deceased I'm talking about. It's like the ending for Deceased.
Oh,
when all the Kryptonians show up, I'm like, oh.
I gotta say, I'm glad they had a finale to it. I'm glad that it was a finite story.
And I gotta say, I really like the first meeting between Clark and Kara because this is their first actual meeting because she was under the mind control the whole time.
I'll say though, the one thing that bothered me, they never resolved the stuff with Stephanie Brown. Because they implied she was going to be put into the Lazarus pit or something, and we never saw what happened. And that was in the digital comic. That was in the digital, the in-between stuff.
You mean the one for, was it ever collected?
The one that was in between the two and the issues 4 and 5 of the first mini.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I ever read that one.
Not the one with Jason. It's not the one with Jason Todd and Rose getting together and all that. Not that one.
Was the Hope at World's End?
Yes. Hope at World's End.
I can't remember that.
Yeah, because Stephanie gets killed, and then Talia said she'll take care of her. Oh, by the way, it was Batman 66. There's one mini that's notorious. You know what that is?
What?
Batman 66 meets Wonder Woman 77 because the last two issues are set in the future, and you would see an older. Remember, this is supposed to be the Adam West Batman. Remember that? And we find out apparently Joker killed Alfred, and then Batman killed Joker. This is the canon future, but you're like, no, not the Adam West Batman.
Well,
one
it's
Joker
the Batman that had a bat rocket launcher, though.
But Joker was never. No, he snapped his neck.
Oh.
And the fact that Joker was never that type of Joker.
Yeah.
For one, Riddler would more likely do that, not Joker. People keep forgetting. Batman 66 Riddler was more like present day Joker.
Yeah, he was.
Because you have that point where in the movie where he's like, oh, but I must. Batman is. And the fact you have Joker trying to talk sense into Riddler.
Yeah.
What?
Exactly. So I read something and.
Oh, War World. And?
Freaking fantastic.
Yep. And that gets Superman right there. Although, I still say is one of the if you were to give a first Superman comic to someone, one, I'll tell you this, not All-Star. I don't know why people keep on saying All-Star. It's like, you should give that to people as a first Superman comic. No, they're not going to appreciate that much as their first comic. I say Superman Up in the Sky, the Tom King book.
Maybe.
Really, that is the perfect one. Each issue is about a different aspect of Superman.
Could work. I can see that.
Or Up and Away. The 1 year later stuff.
With me, okay. So the books that I would give someone is
I would also say the New 52 Action would also be a good one.
Yeah, Grant Morrison, Superman, Wonder Woman.
Okay, that goes
not because the Super Wonder part, because
no. I get it. But I would say though, something that's be new to get people introduced to Superman. I don't think Superman Wonder would be a good one as an introduction for that.
Okay, as an introduction, yeah, Grant Morrison, maybe Secret Origin.
Maybe Secret Origin. Now, it doesn't have to be an origin. That's why I'm including stuff like Up and Away or Up in the Sky.
Yeah.
Wait, is it All-Star? No. I don't know why people keep saying that. Why do people keep saying All-Star or Superman should be like a first Superman comic? One, it's his death. Two, it's too much Silver Age you want. It's going to confuse people if they go in and see the present day stuff.
Another one that you could do, it's an origin, but Birthright.
Oh, yeah. Again, a lot of the origins. Earth 1.
Yeah, a lot of the origins are great for first Superman stories.
But yeah, that's why I said Up and Away or Up in the Sky are two non-origin ones that I think that are really good.
Now, if someone ever asked me, so Jared, what should be my first Wonder Woman comic? I'd say anything with George Perez's name on it.
Everything with George Perez? I'd say...
Definitely not the Tom King run, that's for sure.
No, but you know what? I'd actually have to say Rucka's Rebirth stuff could be a good start.
No.
Could. I didn't say definitely.
Because that's all about crapping on what came before.
Fair enough, but it will give him a current standing of where things are currently.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They keep bringing back New 52 stuff.
Elements, not all of it. For one, the Amazons are not going back.
No, they're not going back to being rapists. No. That ain't happening.
And Hippolyta's not going back to being blonde.
No. What I would do for Wonder Woman, you could probably just start with the Gail Simone run and just go for that.
The Gail Simone run, Phil Jimenez's run.
Yes, exactly. That's excellent. For Aquaman, I would just say just go with Jeff Johns. You're good.
Flash, there's so many good starting points. Flash has been one of the most consistently good ever since Mark Waid.
Yeah,
Mark Waid,
I'll give
Jeff
you that.
John,
Manipul.
Francis Manipul, Vendetti, Williamson, and then Adams. Salisbury. It's the first time. It's not. I'm not saying it's bad. But it's so different that I can't recommend it to people as a first one. Like all the other runs, you can start at any of those runs as a starting point, but not Psy.
Not Psy. No, I read the first issue of it and I was like, I'm not interested.
I'm keeping up with it. It's not. I'm putting it on par with Phil K. Johnson's Hulk. It's different. That different.
And when I tell people, so my co-host for my Super Wonder show, I'm turning her into a Green Lantern fan.
Oh, Jeff Johns.
Yeah. Here's why I say Jeff Johns run. Even though it references old stuff, it explains it to you in such a way that you don't necessarily have to be an expert on Green Lantern.
Funny thing, Beacon and I went over Green Lantern Emerald Dawn and then Secret Origins. And when we went over Emerald Dawn, we kept comparing it to Secret Origins. We couldn't help it because there's but we don't want to dump on it. We didn't dump on it. We kept acknowledging there's a lot
animated
of good
movie.
Stuff. No. That's First Flight. I'm talking about the two miniseries that were the post-crisis year one story. And for one, the very first issue was written by Christopher Priest. He only wrote that issue, but he was the one who gave us the death of Hal's father.
Okay,
that wasn't a Jeff Johns creation. That was a Priest creation. And that was when we first got the notion of Sinestro being a Green Lantern member, mentoring Hal and everything, but we didn't like how Sinestro, neither Nina Pika nor I cared for how Sinestro was handled because he was still too much of a villain. It felt like, what were the Guardians of the Rings thinking picking this guy?
Yeah, exactly.
But Jeff Johns, no, you get it. The Jeff Johns Sinestro, you understand, he is basically the Emerald Dawn version of it. He was all ego. I mean, let me put it this way. When you go to Corrigan, you had banners of him everywhere.
Yeah, he was like a god.
And we basically said, okay, statues are one thing. Pete and I both agree. Statues are fine. There's a lot of statues people do for people who are their hero. The banners were pushing it.
Yeah,
Like
then
a
it gets a
few
little bit.
banners here and there across, banners stretching everywhere. Yeah, you show up there, you're like, whoa, high on yourself much? If you showed up there with a few statues, but a few banners, you'd be like, oh, these guys must really like him. He must be that good.
But again, the reason why I always say Jeff Johns, because you don't necessarily have to read anything else.
And Secret Origin is basically a redo of Emerald Dawn 1 and 2.
Pretty much, and it's included in the other.
For example, in Emerald Dawn, now here's it. The first issue done by Priest, best of the issues of that first mini. Because everything else afterwards it had some good stuff, but it was only good when it was dealing with Hal because it was the fallout of what happened, which was Hal got into a drunk driving accident and things like that. That was the best stuff. The Green Lantern stuff was standard. Because for one, you want to know who the villain was that killed Abensur? Some yellow armored alien that they created just for the book.
Yeah, that's lame.
Now, some of the concepts of it was interesting. Basically, he was like in this armor because he was an entire species crammed into it, working together as like a hive mind. That was interesting, but everything about it was just so substandard and everything. Now, what I like then is that Hal, he turned himself in because he's like, right, I drunk driving everything. But then what happened in the second mini? Turns out he was put away for 90 days, the maximum, because the judge wanted to make him an example. He'd be like, I did the right thing. I wanted to have a clean slate, and look what I got. Oh, no, that Pico was surprised when you remember Guy Gardner used to be a lawyer?
Yeah.
And I think Tomasi meeting halfway, making him a cop was just as good.
As much as I don't like Tomasi, I'll give you that was a better choice.
You acknowledge those. Green Lantern stuff has always been good.
His Green Lantern stuff is fantastic.
Some of the best.
I've said that on my show. Superman and Wonder Woman may have been crap, but this was like, I can't blast that.
Yeah, and again, making Guy a cop makes sense.
It makes more sense for his character. I can't see him being a lawyer.
Him being a lawyer was before the brain injury.
Yeah.
You gotta remember that. His attitude was completely different before he went into a coma. People forget that. But and again, just going over, I have I've been collecting Green Lantern ever since Jeff Johns. I have not stopped. I have everything from Green Lantern, from Jeff Johns to Vendetti, which was a continuation, let's be honest.
Yeah, it was.
Let
me tell you this.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this. So my first run collecting Green Lantern issues is the current Jeremy Adams run, and it's fan-freaking-tastic.
Yep. What about Phil Kane Johnson on War Journal?
Both. It's so good.
I am disappointed it's ending at 12.
Yeah, I know. I want more. But
he's not leaving DC. He made that clear. He's not leaving DC.
Which, thank God, because I want that man to keep writing DC. He is
and
fantastic.
Marvel. Keep him at both.
Yeah, keep him at both because he's doing great jobs. I have his Aliens run, and that's great.
Oh, yep. And his Marvel Zombies, he did it, right? That was one of his first mainstream works. But seriously, now I got a question. What did you think overall Vendetti's run? Because I'll be honest, as much as I liked it, I am not a fan of Lights Out.
I read like the first trade of Vendetti, and then I skipped Morrison.
Okay, but you get what I'm saying, though, right? It was Vendetti's run. Lights Out, where we revealed, they're draining the reservoir. I hated that. That was dumb. That was right up there with the Genesis event I told you about, where, the source is responsible for everything. The Speed Force, the Lantern energy. And I'll be honest, I think editorial dropped the ball during Vendetti's run because the way they handled the source made no sense.
Yeah.
Now, I loved Black Hand releasing everyone from the source wall. Why didn't anyone ever think of something like that? That's the ultimate graveyard.
Yeah, the ultimate badasses in there.
Yep. Relic was not a great character overall. He's an interesting one, but I'm glad no one's used him since. Again, I like Vendetti's run. It felt like a continuation, but it also felt like this is a guy who didn't know much of Green Lantern editorial, was just letting him go along with everything and maybe just guided him a little. You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
It felt like, again, great writer. The man knows how to write a story. But you get my issues, right? Because again, like the way they handled the new gods in that felt like
it felt very strange.
I mean, it wasn't bad. Again, it wasn't a bad story.
What
it just felt like it was in its own vacuum, didn't it?
Yeah, the other Lantern stuff that I'm currently collecting trades for is the run with Jessica and Baz. That was from Rebirth.
Yep, Green Lanterns. I have all those.
So good.
So
freaking good.
For the most part, I think they didn't know what to do with Simon.
Well, yeah,
it's so obvious. They had to make him a Gary Stu throughout a lot of that book. Oh, he doesn't need a Blue Lantern to get rid of the red energies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, stuff like that was bullshit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because they didn't. They're breaking all the rules. But as a Jessica Cruz fan,
here's why. Jessica was created as a character first. Simon was created as a plot device to carry over after Hal and Sinestro was missing, and he was just there to tide over. I'm sorry, Simon was not a well thought out character.
There's a reason why they don't use him that much.
Unfortunately, and I give Jeffrey Thorne props for trying.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to get everyone reworked. I give him props for that.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like the Teen Lantern, which Jeremy Adams has used her again.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, Teen Lantern, I feel, got a bad rap for people believing when Bendis was claiming, like having her hype herself up and taking her literal, when it's like, guys, she can't be literal, right?
But again, it's
like
typical.
Saying she hacked the rings. It's like, no, she didn't. She's doing that to impress them.
It's typical Bendis, where it's kind of funny. He invents a character, but it doesn't pick up until he's not writing the character anymore.
Riri,
Miles.
Oh God. Miles, I think he handled better.
The problem with Riri is that she showed up in the Iron Man book. It wasn't really a good book.
But unlike, in the past, whenever you'd have a replacement, there was a story reason behind it. Even Lady Thor had a story reason behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Riri was one of the first times where there was no story reason. It was a change for the sake of change, nothing more.
That's the one time where I could use the word woke.
Yeah, but would you agree with that detail, right? It's like it's the time where there was no story. Because again, Lady Thor, there was a story. Aaron had a long-term story.
The story's actually really good.
For the most part.
For the most part.
Toward the end of Aaron's run, it was a slog. And until War of the Realms. Everything leading up to War of the Realms felt like, and again, as much as I'm glad Aaron is at DC, and apparently he's a bigger DC fan, so I'm curious by that.
It shows because his Superman run is fantastic.
For the most part, I do like the idea that Bizarro's history is always reset after a crisis, but I also hate that means he lost everything that Tomasi built up, and that meant he lost his family.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying because Ellen did what Tomasi did, I'm saying because he was in a happy place.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that. He's actually aware. And when you see about it, how many times has the poor guy been reset?
A lot.
Yeah, so I'm glad that we actually had that acknowledged, but now we don't know where he is currently. Is he dead? Is he trapped still? I think he's still trapped in that magic realm.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just a copy of him in Superman's brain.
Mm-hmm.
But but here's the thing with Aaron that I'm worried about. I don't want to get the Aaron like we got on that issue of Avengers or that issue of Thor where he's taking pot shots at the fans.
Oh.
Like, what did it say when by the time he was on Thor and near the end of his Thor run, during his time handling Thor and Avengers and She-Hulk, you had both Al Ewing and Donny Cates reversing his stuff.
Yeah.
Like the way he had Jen basically like, oh, I hated being objectified. I am so much more of a victim than you, Bruce. You had so much easy because you're a man. This guy was abused by his father and had emotional states up the wazoo. But let's talk about how much you. And then in fact, she's like, I hate to be objectified. I hate people ogling me. Says the woman who, when on the stand, was told to list all of the men she had slept with. We had a list of She-Hulk, and then as Jen, 3 men.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. What?
Hypocritical.
And that's why then what Al Ewing do? Had it be don't take anything. She's going to reset anyway. It's because her mind's on the right place currently.
Yeah.
That's what Ewing said to say. Or you had, again, Aaron tried to say, oh, Sora's mom was the Phoenix. No one. Kate hated that. And basically, so Aaron had to say, okay, he has two moms. Gaia gave birth. That's still canon. But then the Phoenix, like he was almost near death when he was born. So the Phoenix gave him new life.
So it's kind of like he was sculpted from clay and lightning brought him to life.
Sort of, where the Phoenix is the lightning, but he was still born organically. Because Gaia, as in the goddess.
I guess that makes sense. But my problem with Aaron on Thor is that he tried to like change Thor lore by saying, "Oh, Thor's a mantle. It's not really his name." I'm like, yeah, it's his name.
That the hammer as a
it's his name. Okay.
Kate killed her off.
Yeah.
Did you know that Kate's killed her off?
Killed Jane off?
No, not Jane. Killed the spirit of Mjolnir.
Yeah. Oh, really?
The god of the hammers. Why? Because he revealed after because remember, Mjolnir was destroyed when Man-God went into the sun. And then Thor eventually reforged it. Well, it turns out when that reforge happened, a bit of Man-God infected the goddess. So eventually Thor had to, and it was a permanent corruption. Thor had to kill her. So that goddess dead. Mjolnir is now back to just being its own sentient hammer, not sentient hammer, it's its own enchanted hammer, no sentience anymore.
Okay.
Which means you're not going to get Jane again like that, where it's like, oh, I like her better.
Yeah, because it
makes no sense.
Because the way the incantation says that whoever lifts his hammer, if they be worthy, shall have the power of Thor.
Not the mantle of Thor.
Yeah, that's my thing with like, it's not a mantle. Good Lord.
Again, it was trying to justify things too much, which...
And it's not like it was a bad story.
I'll say this. Malachi's, his ending, the way they dealt with him afterwards, one of the best handlings of a villain.
Yeah, not bad.
He's going to be tortured watching his inner child being raised with the good life he never had, and he's forced to watch it for all eternity.
That's incredible.
That is, wow. That is, because you think that would be a good thing. No, that's torture.
Yeah.
That is for him, torture. But yeah, and then, but again, and now, I guess, what do you think about this absolute power with Amanda Waller's big story coming up?
I mean,
I'll be honest, we never had a chance to see Amanda Waller be given all the resources to do everything. She's always had to scramble for it. Even with Earth 3, that was her scrambling with whatever she had.
I mean, that'll be interesting. I mean,
this whole idea they're going to lose their powers and everything.
That's cool. That's cool. At least they're doing something new. And the character
and her working together with Failsafe Zur and R in Failsafe and Brainiac Queen.
But the thing I'm wondering is that how is this event going to launch the absolute universe?
It's not. I don't think it is. I think it's a similar title, but I think people are misinterpreting that it's connected.
Okay.
Because it's quite clear the absolute universe is just going to be another part of the omniverse.
Okay.
That's all it is. Yeah, it means nothing for this new universe. I think it's just similar titles.
Okay.
Hell, they probably won't even go with absolute universe. It's going to probably be something else.
Yeah, because
I just think it's similar titles, and that's it. I do not think one's leading into the other.
Okay.
They might use it as a launching point for it to start at that point, but I don't think in universe it's going to be related. Unless that's something that Zur-En-Arr or Brainiac Queen's going to do. And I wouldn't say they got wrong. I just think that for one, I think Bleeding Cool is just throwing out are they connected? I don't think they've ever said as a fact that they are connected.
Well, I tend to also not take what Bleeding Cool says seriously. That's kind of a rule of mine.
But from what I'm hearing about this Ultimate Universe stuff, there's a lot of truth to it.
Yeah, and by the way, I have long said, and I think that if executed correctly,
having two parallel universes, fine.
This could go pretty well
for DC.
Yeah, Marvel proved it worked. That's what the new 52 should have been.
But again, let's be honest. And I think you can agree with my statement on this. New 52 was the cheap and easy way.
Well, yeah, because also they didn't have a lot of time to do it.
I'm not talking about the end results. I'm talking about just the plan in general, not what came out of it. But the initial plan was the quick, cheap, and easy.
Well, because guess what? Their parent company didn't leave them a lot of time because the company was going to get shut down.
Which they should not have gotten in that predicament in the first place, though.
They should not have. But I'm saying they didn't have a lot of time to, like, for one thing, end the universe and then reboot.
Exactly. And like I said, though, and I bet you they didn't want to gamble. Like, they wanted to make, like, we are absolutely guaranteeing that we're serious about this, which I get it. You needed that. But at the same time, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, in the long term, yes, brought a lot of good fans. But what it's done with continuity, I gotta say, I've seen people say it on Twitter. It's caused more long-term damage than good. And I'm not saying about the quality of the stories again. I'm talking about the mess up with handling the fandom, people who like it, and that because there was a lot of people who left. Yes, you got a lot of new people, but it's like Star Wars fans, old and new. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but again, this was one of the losses that DC was going to have to take on the chin because, again,
yeah, but at the same time, but it should have been a better thought out loss.
It could have. It could. Let me put it this way. Again, they could have done a full-on side-by-side universe instead of rebooting. I can agree with you on that.
Yeah, like cut a lot of the books. Cut a lot of the books.
Yeah, like essentially, here's what you do.
What?
Here's what I would do. Half the current, let's say
26 books. You could have kept 52. 26 books for the old, 26 for the new.
Exactly. Half and half, and then you're good to go.
Yep. But they wouldn't have had the new 52 where it's 52 books. And oh boy, that was.
But they didn't on launch. That's the thing. A lot of those books got canceled.
Well, remember, that's because they were going to replace them with a new book so they can keep they were locked into that 52 numbering. Well, to be fair, that static book got taken because Milestone retracted it because they weren't happy with the end product.
Yeah, sometimes it wasn't really their fault, but I'm saying my whole thing is like, hey, could it have been done a lot better? Yes. But do I think it's as irredeemable as a lot of fans point out to me?
No, I do not. I don't agree with that either. I do not agree with that either, but I'm just saying in the long term, it has caused a lot of damage still, both in the continuity sense and from some people's perspective, because now you feel like, what if they just do it again? They could do it again at any moment, because basically it's that notion of, if they were willing to do it once, what's to happen for them to do it again? Why should I be invested? But here's the thing.
Let's say they reboot. You still have the old comic books.
People say that all the time, but then look how well it's gone with Spider-Man. How you've had people saying, oh, you still have the old pre-Mary stuff. Yeah, but I'm not liking the current stuff.
Yeah, but you can just go back and read the other stuff. But
then when they taint some of the old stuff, like when one moment in time basically tainted a lot of the post-marriage, the marriage and onward.
Well, that's what I do. I don't consider any run I don't like canon. I do my own canon. Like, I can tell you right now, Tom King's run is getting struck from canon. It's not canon at all.
I'd say I would say this: strike it, but keep an eye on it, because who knows? It could get better.
Yeah. If currently it's not canon to my DC. Right. If it significantly improves, maybe I'll put it back in. But currently, my definitive Wonder Woman run is George Perez.
Oh, to which. Didn't King try to say he's trying to make a run that's just on par with it? Didn't he?
Or he's inspired by it, but I'm like, where is that?
I'll be honest, compared to some of his other work, I kind of see it, but it's still Tom King we're talking about.
Yeah, and that's the thing. This is why I went for 8 issues with him, because here's the thing. I've liked a lot of Tom King stuff. Like,
we know Tavia.
Yeah, we know Tavia. Because I've liked his Batman run for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you that. I like Batcat. And from what I've seen of Superman, I liked. So I figure, and I know that with Tom King, yes, he has, yes.
Oh, Supergirl.
Yes. What I mean is with Tom King, yes, when he's bad, oh, is he bad? But when he does good stuff.
I think he's good when he's on a leash.
Yeah, they're not putting him on a leash with Wonder Woman. That's the problem.
Okay, let's be honest. He is on more of a leash than he is his Black Label books. Let's be honest on that.
Yeah, but it's not that much of a
much.
leash because I got news for you. Wonder Woman is not the book that DC really cares about. It's never been.
Agreed. I agree with that, unfortunately, but I do think they're at least trying to keep it in its eye currently. Like
if they were, well, put it this way. Here's why I doubt that. If they were, there's no way they would have let Wonder Woman punch her mother in the face.
Good point. By the way, I should say this. You know what Tom King said to me at the convention?
What?
I wish DC would actually let me get the characters I wanted to go with.
What?
I wish DC would actually let me write the characters I want to write.
Ha ha. So in other words,
I don't think that's talking smack about the books he has worked on. I just think that means there's other characters he really wants to do, but he has to settle for others. I don't know if that implies a Wonder Woman, but I'm pretty sure stuff like Danger Street and all that. Yes.
Well, let me put it this way. I love Mr. Miracle.
Yeah.
He writes, but he's like James Gunn. He works better when it applies to like non like.
Okay, but don't get me started on Human Target. I hated that.
Okay, yeah, I still haven't.
Okay, Human Target himself was fine, but how they handled the JLI was shit. Except for Booster, he actually got Booster well in that.
Ironically, because considering he was a freaking crisis.
Well, I didn't ask him that, Dave. Yeah, I didn't ask him that question. Although I might if I get him on.
But it would be interesting to find out because. It would be interesting to get clarification on that because do you think he's talking about like DC, like DC keeps pushing him in these toward these characters and he's not necessarily choosing like Wonder Woman
or I think it's more because a lot of these characters are already being handled. Like he probably wanted to do Superman, but Bendis had it.
Well, the other thing I think the reason why I think it could be like he wants to write more of the obscure characters instead of these because there's less pressure when you're working on, say, Booster Gold than Wonder Woman.
To a degree, but for example, if Batman were on, I'm positive he wanted to do that.
Yeah, it could be it started off like, okay, I want to write all these characters. Or really, and this is the thing I've talked to Tris about, and Tom King is like Tom Taylor. They write best when it's Elseworlds.
I'd argue that's in the case of King because, again, those books are good in a vacuum, but...
Again, that's why, like, when
Taylor at least doesn't derail the character as much as King does.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, a lot. I wouldn't be. Here's my
Adam
prediction.
Strange. No way in hell would he give up his daughter like that.
Yes,
no
Robert.
Fucking way.
Here's my prediction for Wonder Woman. Are you ready? As soon as King leaves the book, we'll never hear anything about any of the characters or Sovereign or Trinity ever again.
Maybe, but I was going to say this. Except for Sovereign and Trinity, at least he's using some of the older characters, good and villainous.
At least, yeah. That's the one thing I'll give him.
Yara, he's using...
yeah, but my point is, the original characters for this run, we probably won't see them again. You notice how to be
fair, that happened with Gale. Look at what happened with Gale. She created this Wonder Woman's Doomsday, which was supposed to be a Diane from the future turned into this monster.
Which that was cool, by the way.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, we haven't ever seen her again.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Do I know what one villain from another creator that did get used again that shocked me?
What?
JMS's run had a villain named Nemesis. Not the guy Nemesis, a goddess named Nemesis, who basically was the keeper of murdered souls and eventually got corrupted and tainted by all the buildup of it. G. Wilson brought her back.
Okay, occasionally it happens. But
that shocked me. I'm like, wait, wasn't that entire thing undone?
Well, here's the difference. Here's the thing.
Now, Trinity might stick.
I highly doubt that. You know why? Trinity was not the big character that DC thought it was going to be.
Neither was Yara.
And they ignored Yara until King.
Although the fact, at least Yara has a fan base that people are like, why?
Yeah, I don't think Trinity has that fan base. And with Sovereign, he's not going to be Wonder Woman's Joker.
No. But then again, like I said, just like that one villain was not Wonder Woman's Doomsday, not even. And that was by Gail Simone.
And here's the interesting thing with DC. Whenever they have touched Trinity, whenever they have done a Trinity story, you notice how it's always like really far in the future. Like, oh, we could ignore this if we really want to. That's why I think
Yara was
they're probably not going to go with this.
I think Yara might stick. I'll say it this way: Yara's going to definitely last longer than Jace.
Oh yeah.
Now Jace I do think Jace has the potential of becoming kind of like, and I think this was his intent, kind of like Calvin Ellis or Val Zod.
But again, they were.
Can I say what I mean by that? What I mean is, there might, because you know how many people are saying now. Nowadays, when you have people say, "Give us the Black Clark Kent," people are saying, "We don't need Black Clark. We got these guys."
But here's the difference.
Yeah.
When you're using Val Zod or Calvin Ellis, they're Elseworlds. They don't exist in the same world as the character.
Yeah, okay. But people always say was like, "Oh, what about Black Peter? Why do we need Black Peter? We have Miles." I think Jace is more like the Miles in that regard, where you're not be like, "Let's give it the Black Bruce Wayne." Why? We got Jace.
Well, as you know, my opinion on sharing the mantle, so I made that clear.
You know me though, I'm a big supporter because I grew up with it. I grew up with the Flash family. I grew up with
the only one I accept is Green Lantern because that's kind of the thing. It's not
what about Flash? Come on. If you're going to have Jay and Barry and Wally running around, come on.
Flash is kind of a complicated thing because it wasn't originally going to be that. It only ended up being two Flashes because Jeff Johns was nostalgic.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Jay and either Barry or Wally. That was well before Jeff Johns. That was way back when in the Golden Age or the Silver Age.
That's better because at least the costumes are different.
True, but they're still Flash with same powers.
I mean,
just like we have Golden and Silver Age Green Lantern.
I mean, to be clear, I do wish that they would like rename these characters if they exist in the same universe, like call Jay Garrick Mercury.
Right. What Wally was also before Jeff Johns, yes, but that was at least someone taking the mantle and passing on. What about Batman Inc.?
Yeah, it's.
Come on, they actually showed having Dick and Bruce together as Batman can work.
True, but that didn't really. I still didn't like it then.
And how many Robins?
I still didn't like it then.
You don't like multiple Robins?
I don't like multiple mantles for the major characters because here's why. If I go down the street and I ask anyone who's Batman,
okay, I can agree to that. Well, let me say, you go down the street and ask anyone who's Robin, they're going to say Dick Grayson because they might say Damian. They might say Tim Drake. They might say no. I have never had anyone say Tim Drake.
Actually, Damian probably.
They might say Damian these days, but for the longest time. That's why even when they killed Jason, people thought it was Dick Grayson.
Well, because they made
of the 60s series.
Yeah.
We have never seen every time we start Batman. That's one thing I give Gunn credit. He's jumping in with Batman being already established and having but the other Robins do exist.
Mm-hmm. Again, so if it lasts to that point.
He's new 52ing it.
Which that's
what they did. That's what they did in New 52.
Well, let me put it this way. Like that, Gunn is also applying the same reboot rules as the New 52.
To a degree. He's at least doing it if you didn't have the Action Comics run.
No, plot points from the previous continuity are carrying over.
I'm talking about, though, how the rules are for this world, how it's starting in the middle of things and stuff. There's already been a history.
Which, yeah, that's fine.
I'm sorry. Having how many? 4 Robins in 5 years? I'm sorry.
No, they could. I'm not saying that was a good idea.
That was a bad idea. That was a bad idea.
I've long said that was a stupid idea. At least make it 10 years.
Batman was active before Superman. Dumb.
At least make it 10 years if you really want to start when they're active.
Yeah, that was their big problem. The 5 years.
5 years was the problem.
Did we ever get that 5 years? No.
And telling me that Blackest Night happened in the New 52, I'm like, no, it didn't.
Or everything leading up to Batman Inc. Let's be honest, it's because those were the only 2 big sellers and they didn't want to pit off Grant and Jeff. That's it.
Yeah, I understand that. But it's and yeah, I acknowledge that as a reasoning. But nowadays we know better. Nothing should be carrying over from the DCEU.
Not exactly. But unfortunately, because people forget Batman was a big seller.
He still is.
Yeah,
kind of.
I'll be honest. I'm getting a little tired of failsafe.
Me too. I'm like,
I see people blowing out proportion to Sir NR that Nightwing has done. Once you get the context, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the context of it?
No.
Because you see people showing, they're like, oh no, Nightwing's having his own Sir NR, except it's Sir as in circus or NR.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's a word he does to put himself into a trance to interact in his mind. Because why? He's already figured out there's something wrong with Raven.
Mm-hmm.
But he knows she's a mind reader, so he has to do this when she's asleep.
Mm-hmm.
In his mind, and he's very like, okay, you gotta remember that by this point we gotta disconnect, and you gotta remember to put a reminder for us to come back here.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
That's cool.
Okay, we gotta wrap up now.
Cool.
So yeah, man. So thank you for joining me, dude. And have fun, everyone.
Anytime.
Take care.